Welcome back, guys. This is the lecture series in switchgear and protection. In previous lectures, we have discussed about non-directional overcurrent relays, directional overcurrent relays as well. Now, in this lecture, we will discuss about what is the working principle of differential relays. Right. So, let me introduce about differential relays. It is used for protection of generators, transformers, feeders, and large machines, and also bus bars. So, in case of generators and transformer protection and feeder and bus bar protection, we use differential protection. Now, what is the operating principle of this differential protection? This differential protection is also called as unit protection. The differential protection is also called as unit protection relay. Why we are calling this as unit protection relay means, by using this differential protection, we will give protection for one confined area. For example, if you have taken any transmission feeder or bus bars, the protection is confined for only that feeder only. Or if you want to see equipment like generator, transformer, and large machines. So, this differential relay can protect this equipment from the faults which is occur inside the equipment what we are protecting, but it is not operate for outside fault. So that is the definition of unit protection relay. So the exact protected zone is determined by the location of CTs and PTs, which is used in case of differential relay, will be defined what is the unit area it is protecting. Right. Next one. This is the working principle of differential relay. It operates when the phase difference between similar electrical quantities, whatever it may be, the voltage or current. So it should have a difference between voltage quantity, whether it is a magnitude difference or whether it is a phase difference. That's not the matter. So at the end, we need to have some difference between two quantities. Then only the differential relay will act. So the name indicates like that only. Differential. It will differentiate two signals. Right. And it has two types of differential relays based on the sensing element. For example, based on the sensing quantity, the differential relay is classified as voltage differential relay and current differential relay. Mainly, current differential relay will be used in recent days, as it is very simple compared to voltage differential relay. Right. So, what we will study in case of differential relay is the current differential relay only. Right. Now, let us see the working of current differential relays. In this case, I will find out what is the working procedure of during external fault conditions. What is the working condition during external fault conditions are also called as through faults. Through faults is nothing but the faults which is not in the zone of differential relay. That we call it as through faults. And the next one is internal faults. So these two cases we will analyze with the help of differential relays. How the differential relay will act for through faults, and then how this differential relay will act for internal faults. So let us see that. So for a differential relay, what I said is, it will compare two electrical quantities. For example, I will take some equipment I'm not predetermining whether it is generator or large machine or feeder, whatever it may be. For example, this is protected equipment. This dotted line indicates the protected equipment. The dotted line indicates protected equipment. So, as we are discussing the current differential relay, we need to place a CTs, that is current transformers, to sense either side of this protecting equipment. Either side of this protecting equipment. For example, if the current is passing at the input side, I am taking this as input for time being. So this is I1, the current which is passing, which is input to the equipment, I call it as I1. And if I have taken dot product here, CT, because singleton primary we are using, right? For any CTs, maximum we will use singleton primary only. So that's why on secondary, I just indicate the dot notation. So as I have notated dot notation, the current which is flowing in a secondary side of transformer, that means CT, is like this only. This is I1. Similarly, in case of output side also, I have this current, that is I2. And the dot notation is same. So the current is I2. Now, in case of differential relay, what we will do is, we will differentiate these two quantities. That means, we will connect these two quantities by using a pilot wires. So, these two are the pilot wires. The CTs are connected by using pilot wires. Now, if you observe the notations, the current notations, during normal operating conditions, the current I1 is equal to I2, right? The same current is passing through these two quantities. Now, in case of differential protection, to sense this balance, that means current balance, at equipotential point of this pilot wires. Remember the point? At equipotential point of this pilot wires, an operating coil will be placed. An operating coil will be placed, which is relay operating coil. Now let us observe here. This is the I1 that is flowing, and this is I2. So if you apply simple KVL here, the current which is passing through relay coil is equal to I1 minus I2, right? So I indicate this as IR. The current in relay coil IR is equal to I1 minus I2. I1 is the current which is sensed by CT1, and I2 is the current which is sensed by CT2. So, if we are differentiating these two things during normal operating conditions, the current which is flowing, that means the current is equal to input and output. In case of feeder also, the input current has to be equal to output current, even though the line is some hundreds of kilometers as well. And in case of generator also, in case of generator or in case of transformer, whatever it may be, right? So further, the current has to be equal during normal operating conditions. Then there is no current which is passing through operating coil, right? So IR will become 0 during normal operating condition. During normal operating condition. Now, for example, let us take case 1, that is through faults. That means external fault has been occurred in a system, right? So the protected zone is, in this example, the protected zone is from here to here only. Is there any fault occurs in between these 2 points, that we call it as internal faults, or the faults which are occurred other than this region, we call it as through faults or external faults. So in case 1, I will observe an external fault has been occurred. An external fault has been occurred. So for this, what happened? Obviously, as the current increases, as the fault occurred, the current will be increased. But here what happens? Along with current I1, I2 is also increases, right? So the current will be increases whenever the fault occurs. Here both I1 as well as I2 are increasing simultaneously. Let the two currents will be increased. I1 has been increased and I2 has been increased. Similarly, this small that means CT secondary current is also increases in two sides. So now the difference between these two currents will be 0 again, because because of this external fault. Let me take an example. That is, for example, in normal operating conditions, 10 ampere current is flowing through the line. Now, for example, 100 amperes is flowing. Similarly, because of fault, similarly, I1 is also 100 amperes. I1 is also 100 amperes. If my CT ratio is like 100 by 5 amperes, 2 CT's ratio is like 100 by 5 amperes, what happened? Same. I1 is also 5 amperes, I2 is also 5 amperes. Then what is the current which is passing through operating coil? That is 0, obviously. So during normal operating condition or during through fault, the operating current through operating coil will be 0. Hence, there is no signal generated to circuit breaker. Now let us observe case 2. That means internal fault has been occurred. What is internal fault means? The fault which is occurs inside the region, inside the protected zone. So this is the fault has been occurred in case of internal fault. Now for this, what happen is, because of this fault, I1 will be increases. For example, 100 amperes let us take. For example, 100 amperes let us take. So I1 will be increases. This current will be flow through fault. For example, if it is line to ground fault, it is flow to ground. And in case of CT, secondary CT, what happen is, for example, if there is no generating point or no power system network, what happens? There is no current which is drawn from secondary side. If you have any secondary supply, the current will be drawn from the supply and will be flown to ground. But in case of singly fed system, for example, at the outer side, I had only load. In this case, what happen is the amount of I2 is reduces. Right. So we got two cases here. For example, if we have doubly fed systems, that means doubly excited or doubly fed, let me call it as this side and this side we have generator, means the current I2 will be reversed. Or if it is singly fed, then in this case what happen is the amount of I2 will be reduces. Now let me take I2 is reversed now. So the first one is I2 reverses. If I2 reverse, in this case what happen is, so this current will be reversed as it is reversed during fault condition, and IR will be IR is equal to I1 plus I2. IR is equal to, that means relay current through relay operating coil, then IR is equal to I1 plus I2. In this case, if this IR value is greater than some restraining force, let me call it as operating force is greater than restraining force, what happens? It will send the signal to circuit breaker and the circuit breaker will trip. So this is one case. And in secondary case, for example, if I2 reduces instead of reversing, if I2 reduces, in this case what happen is IR is equal to I1 minus I2, right? As I2 reduces, IR value is increasing. Similarly, here also IR is increases. So operating torque or operating force will be greater than restraining torque. Then the signal will be generated to CT. So signal will be generated to circuit breaker. So this is the operation of differential relays. We have seen during normal operating condition and during through faults, there is no signal which is passing through relay operating coil. Hence, there is no signal will be given to circuit breaker. But during internal faults, because of increasing relay operating current, now this will not become zero. During internal faults, right? So because IR is non-zero, then the relay will operate and give signal to the circuit breaker. So this is the operation of differential relay. Now we have seen the operation of differential relay. Now let us take what are the difficulties which are associated with this differential protection. Now the first one is the difficulty because of the difference in pilot wire lengths. So if you observe the circuit diagram, if you observe this diagram, so we have the CTs are connected, or these CTs are placed at different locations, right? So these CTs will be connected by using pilot wires. So while analyzing the circuit, what I have discussed is the operating coil will be placed at equidistance of pilot wire, right? So if you have hundreds of kilometers of pilot wires, then it is very difficult to find where is the equidistance, where is the equidistance point. Now, so that is one difficulty, right? And also the pilot wires will not be, even though the characteristic of even though the rating of pilot wire is same, the characteristics of pilot wire will not become same. Now because of non-equidistance point of pilot wires or the dissimilarities in pilot wires, there is a causes of circulating currents. So because of the circulating current, a small amount of current will be flown through the operating coil. So if this force, because of this small circulating current, is greater than the restraining force, the relay will be maloperates. Right. So to avoid the circulating current because of difficulties placed in pilot wires, what we will do is we will place a resistors. We will place adjustable resistors in both side of pilot wires. We will place adjustable resistors in both side of pilot wire. So by adjusting the resistance of these adjustable resistors, by checking the by adjusting the two adjustable resistors, we will get the we will get the balanced two sides, the balanced on two sides. Now we are eliminating circulating currents, right? So this is one method. This is because of difficulty because of relay wires. Now if you see the second difficulty, it is mismatch in CT ratios. Right. So we have two CTs on primary side and secondary side. Even though the CTs are same rating, the internal characteristics will be little variation. Will have little variation. So there may be a saturation points are different. The saturation point of these two CTs may be different, or the characteristics inside a CTs may be differs. Even though if you have taken two same rating CTs. So because of this, what happen is, for example, let us take an through fault occurs. Let us take an external fault has been occurs. So because of this fault, what happen is, let CT1 has been saturated compared to CT2. Now in this case, what happen is, even though the current is increasing, the CT current is not increases proportionately. Right. So it will create some circulating currents in relay operating coil. So because of this difficulty, the relay will become maloperates. It is because of unbalanced CT ratios. Right. So this will be avoided by using biased differential relays. Thank you.